Capico, let's be honest, because two of the most disappointing sides this season, bar Ipswich as well. And Leicester versus Southampton, 19th versus 20th. Southampton sit on 11 points, which very much is in line with Derby's record. Southampton will be looking to get a point at least from Leicester to get over Derby's record. And we're going to chat about Danny Rohl, obviously a manager that has been very much on Leicester and Southampton's radar. We're going to chat about injury news regarding Mads Hermansen, who is out for the rest of the season. And much more with Football Martin. We're going to compare seasons. And it can't go on like this, can it? Mick McCarthy, it can. It's going to be more like a pre-season game at the weekend. Let's be honest. And let's get it underway. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and do so. It would help me out massively if you can hit the subscribe button. Let's see who's in. RL Dino, how are we, fella? Hello also to Football Martin's audience who is watching as well. Martin's put this on his YouTube, so Southampton fans, afternoon. And welcome to the show as well. So it'd be good to get an insight into both sides. And let's get cracking. The guest himself, don't even have to mention him, is Football Martin. Martin, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, it's good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Looking forward to seeing you the weekend. Looking forward to coming to the KP. I'm not looking forward to the game so much, but I'm looking forward to seeing some friends. Made some good friends over the years. Since making this football content, you being one of them, and all the guys you hang out with. Looking forward to seeing Callum. I don't know if Ross is going to be there at the weekend, but I am looking forward to coming to the KP just to catch up with you boys.
Martin, before we start, let everybody know what you do regarding Southampton Football Club, mate.
Yeah, I'm probably got the fastest growing Saints fan channel at the moment on social media, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm everywhere. Create Southampton content week in, week out. A lot of fan-led content, a lot of live content that I'm going to do over the summer. I cover all the transfer news like you do, all the rumours, all the speculation. A lot of post-match reaction as well. So even if you're not a Saints fan and you want to get reactions to games, certainly Leicester fans going into the Championship next season, I'd do an instant reaction straight after the game like you do, Jack. I think they're really good for fans. And I do think there's a real pull towards fans wanting to hear what certain creators have to say after games. Certain people they trust, like yourself, me, they always come to us over watching a media outlet now. So you're going to keep doing that next season. You'll travel up and down the country like you do, mate. So, love it.
Martin, before we get on to Leicester Southampton and talk about the two sides this season, the EFL brought out a statement yesterday, didn't they, regarding profit sustainability. Obviously, Leicester used a loop, didn't they, a loophole with the Premier League that got them away with what they were accused of and that. What's been your thoughts on that, Martin? The EFL bringing that in now, I think it's very eye-catching, isn't it? Because Leicester are very much one that the EFL have got an eye on. But what do you make of it now, Martin, with the EFL now changing the rules on profit and sustainability in that ahead of the 25-26 season?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think they have a major issue, don't they, between the two divisions? For me, the biggest issue is the gulf in class between the two divisions. We've all found out this year there's a massive gap. I'm not surprised they've done it. I've not looked at the real detail to it. I need to have a look into the real detail of it and what it does mean. But I believe you can be penalised from decisions made in the Premier League. Am I right in saying that? In the Championship, it can be. I look at it all as one. So I think it's difficult for clubs like us that are yo-yoing a bit at the moment. I think we're in a really difficult position, but it's not great for the rest of the Championship because it makes it quite unfair on all these sides. All of a sudden, like they were saying that the Premier League won't have to pay out as much this time round again in parachute payments. So like it's 2 seasons in a row now. So there's more money going into the Premier League pot. So the Premier League pot's got bigger. It's not like that money that they won't need to give it to Southampton, because I think they miss a payment with Saints and Leicester, don't they? Because they won't have to pay that what would have been a lower payment for our second seasons in the Championship. But the thing is, Jack, the gap's just getting bigger and bigger, and I think they have a massive problem, and it's only increasing as the weeks go.
There's always a gulf, aren't there? Now you look at the last 2 years with the Premier League. You know, the first sides that come up: Burnley, Sheffield United, Luton,
Yeah.
went straight back down.
Mm.
This year, back to back again: Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton, all gone down again for the second year running of teams coming up from the Championship to go back down. There's a big gulf there, but then it's always you have to spend a significant amount to stay in the league. I mean, Leicester's case this season's been very much we've been scared of PSR and that, and we haven't really gone for it and worried about it after. You know, we've sort of gone with it from the start and thought, yeah, we're going to have to kind of watch it here. But then I always thought with Leicester, Martin, that we should have been spending money in the summer and just gone all out on it. Give yourself a chance to stay up. And then worry about the PSR and whatever problems after, you know, because they're not going to come straight away. They'll come in duration, but we didn't. And, you know, it's obviously a lot of things that have gone on. You know, if you lose so much in the Premier League, then you go down to the Championship and then, you know, you're looking at points deductions and whatever, aren't you, for them sort of reasons and that transfer embargoes, a business plan with the EFL and that, which maybe that's what Leicester will sort of get if the EFL are to go on and penalise us for next season, which they couldn't wait for us to come back down. I think Southampton are very much, they're sort of in the same boat, aren't they, Martin, regarding how things have gone this season to then go straight back down, which is a real negative. But then Ipswich, you look at the squad they've got this season coming down, they should be really odds on and winning the Championship next year.
Yeah, I think they'll be the strongest. I think they're probably equipped the best out of us now in terms of the three of us going down. You would think so, wouldn't you? You know, obviously they have one thing over us now that we both don't have, and that's ability. They've had a manager that's been there for a period of time, and I think that's quite pivotal. You know, everybody knows the style of football that they play. They're very clear in their identity. He knows the players. He's done the recruitment, so he's had a really big part to play. Kieran McKenna at that football club for a long period of time. If he stays with them next year, they'll be well equipped. He could walk. You know, something might happen. They will be praying to God that he doesn't, but I think for Saints and Leicester, you know, we've chopped and changed managers. We're going, you know, we're on our third manager this season. We're about to go to our, you know, fourth, you know, going to be into our next manager next season. So we've gone from Hasenhüttl to Jones to Sellers to Martin, then to Juric, and then they've all got different styles of play, and they're all like different players, and you know, it's really, really difficult to keep chopping and changing managers because it doesn't give you any stability. I was watching the overlap this morning with Rohl, and it was really interesting. And they were talking about like a manager being around for a period of time and a club having like a form of identity, and the manager that they bring kind of plays to that identity. I thought it was a really good topical conversation. Well worth watching if you've not seen it. But it's finding somebody that fits your club and what your club is to your fans. That's gone missing in football really bad. I'm going off topic, but it is true. It's massively gone missing in football. And like our two clubs are in that boat right now because they don't really know what they want. Like they're jumping from one to the other because they don't know what to do.
There's a lot of mismanagement, a lot of lack of idea, plan, is what I'd call it, Leicester. Same at Southampton with Sport Republic. They don't know what they want. I mean, what is the future? Where does this club go? And this season's been very much down to the Championship again. You know, that's 2 relegations now in 3 seasons for Leicester in Southampton. And it's not good. You know, it's far from it. You know, it's been 2 of the worst clubs in the league this year. Obviously, you're not many points off us, are you? You know, you could say you've been worse than us, but the records we've been breaking, we could say, you know what? Yeah, we're worse than you. I know you've got less points than us, but it's kind of a situation that has been very managed poorly. You know, like you talked about in managers. I mean, you look at Leicester, Brendan Rodgers in the Premier League last time. We had Dean Smith for a short period. We had Enzo Maresca last year in the Championship. We've then gone from Enzo Ball to Steve Cooper Ball. And after 12 games, Cooper sacked. And then you bring in Ruud van Nistelrooy, which is, people are like, hold on a minute. Leicester's taking a huge gamble here. Yeah. He's never been in a position before. You probably look at a David Moyes or that in that situation. Then Ruud van Nistelrooy comes in. and it's just gone worse for worse. You know, a lot of fallouts at the training ground and a lot of things have been happening. The club just don't seem to be keeping an eye on things. They'll just say, you know what, we'll internal review it, and it'll just get swept under the carpet, Martin, because they'll think everything's fine, like they did last time when we got relegated. But you know, a lot needs to be answered for at Leicester City. You know, Southampton and Leicester need to come out to the fans and say, this is the problems we're facing, this is where we're going, and we're sorry. You know, that this is how this season's gone, but none of them have done it, which is very much embarrassment, to say the least. Leicester have been very much on the hierarchies back this season, the fans, because they want the best for the football club. You know, of course you do. That's not entitlement. That's just passion. And this is where we get for both clubs. Obviously, you're on the verge now of beating Derby's record if you get the 12th point, which maybe Leicester might just hand you, Martin, because it's Derby. But yeah, it's been a very much shit show for both sides. And it's what is the plan now? Is there a plan for the Championship? Who's the next manager going to be? What players are leaving? Who's coming in? And what is the future for both football clubs? And that's the questions now that need answering going forward with 4 games to go.
Yeah, it's the same for both clubs. I think that you're in a very similar predicament to we are. Both managerless. Well, you've got a manager, but you want to keep him. Ours is gone, so we've got an opportunity to start afresh and bring someone new in. But you have players that will think they're better than what they are, and they won't want to play in the Championship again. And I think I don't know how big a problem that is at Leicester. How many players won out already? We have a. I think we will have a far weaker Championship team this time round than we did last time round. You know, I have to be realistic and look at what we had last time round in the Championship and looking at what we're potentially going to have this time round in the Championship, minus what I feel we're going to lose because we need to raise 100 million in revenue, and that will be in player sales. The owner's already kind of saying it, you know, it's already getting leaked. There's somebody leaking stuff from the inside to the outside. So you're hearing what's happening and you're like, hold on a minute. This is really worrying if you're a Southampton fan, because what are we going to have come September? And that is a real worry for us.
This is the same with Leicester. You know, there's a lot been leaked to the media regarding fallouts with Van Nistelrooy and players bringing the dogs to training and this, that and the other. But then you get to, you know, Van Nistelrooy has been very much spoken about pride to wear the shirt, and none of them have done it this season. None of them, you know. Some are looking to leave. Wout Fast, who's been non-existent all season. I don't even believe he's a footballer. You know, we've got a lot of players, just no fight, just an utter disgrace. If I'm honest with you, this season's gone. Our last win in the league would have been Tottenham away on the 26th of January. So we haven't won a game since then. It's the case of players just want to move. And then, you know, it's what have you got to work with? And we've obviously not got a bench to even compete. If people want to say about what you've got to work with, I mean, we've got Jordan Ayew, we've got Oliver Skip, we've got players like that. It's just like, yeah, that's not good enough for the Premier League, is it? It don't show exactly ambition to the fans and think, you know what?
No.
Maybe we can do something positive here. This is how you change the game plan, because it's not. Let's have a look at some of the comments, Martin. Do you think EFL will catch up with you? I think Mike's a Southampton fan. Big up, Mike. Yeah, the EFL have been very much keeping an eye on Leicester, mate. Is Mads Hermansen injured, or are Leicester preparing for next season? Mads is injured. He is. He's confirmed it. But, yeah, he'll get fit again. Of course he will. He says about going to get back onto the pitch again. But I don't think that's going to be with Leicester, mate, to be fair. I think he's been very much linked with Chelsea and that, and as much as other clubs. So I think it was Matt's last game against Wolves. Southampton still will have very good Championship players. I really think getting the correct players with who we have now will be stronger. Leicester and Southampton will be up there next season. How do you react to that, Martin? Because the Championship's not easy. Obviously, people of other fans this season, I thought this is probably the worst Championship it's been in years this season. But how do you kind of find it for Southampton and Leicester? Because Leicester are very much a club who need a big, massive reset. It'll probably take us a few years to really get rid of everything and start fresh. What's sort of the feeling at Southampton, Martin? Is it the case you want to go straight back up, or are you in the case in the boat as well of you need a big reset now and start fresh again and then work your way up again?
Yeah, for me personally, knowing what I know, I believe that it's a straight back up job. Will we have a stronger team as we have them when we went down last time? I've already kind of touched upon it. I don't think we will. I don't think we'll be anywhere near strong enough, or as strong as we were. We have a really good championship team. I totally agree with that. I think we will have a really strong squad. Whether we'll have enough about us to put in a title charge or a playoff push, I think in terms of finances, the owners will want to get us back at the first attempt. They're going to need to raise 100 million like they did last time to balance the books, because I'm not convinced he's going to want to plough another 100 million in. And the problem is, if you don't get promoted at the first attempt, you've then got to probably find another 100 million to put in. Yeah. I'm not convinced that our owner is going to want to keep doing that. No. It's been our place has been really, really mismanaged. In terms of the footballing business, it's been mismanaged. They've bought terrible players, awful managers, continuing to buy young and try and develop and turn them into a profit. Sometimes you have to be Premier League savvy, league savvy, and bring in players for that division for the here and now. So when it comes to manager, you have to bring a manager in for the here and now. We're a championship club. You can't say, I heard a few people say a few days ago, well, he's not a Premier League manager. Well, we're not in the Premier League. We're going to be a championship team. So you have to get a championship, somebody that can manage at that level. And then you have to get the players that are not just young. It's all right, but bringing talent through. But if you don't have experienced heads within a team, you get in trouble. And for 2 Premier League seasons, we've gone in so naively. The first time round under Sport Republic, when they took over and we got relegated, they brought in a bunch of teenagers from Man City, didn't bring in any leaders whatsoever, a goalkeeper that was just about 20 years old, that had only played as far as League One, and chucked him into a Premier League team. You know, it's just been recipe for the decision making has been absolutely appalling. But I don't trust them to get the decisions right now, because you've lost faith, because you've watched them do it. And I got to this window in January, and they brought a lad in called Albert Grombeck. He's been nowhere to be seen, but he was like a lightweight midfielder. Whenever does he look equipped to play in the Premier League? He doesn't. But this is the decisions we make as a club. It's absolutely bizarre.
This is the same with Leicester, with the board, and that you trust in these people who are in a problem to go and make the right decisions. And this is Leicester fans. They've lost faith. They've lost very much faith in the board and that to make these decisions. They don't trust them with the plan going forward of having a reset and that. And you lot got rid of Ivan Djuric quite significantly. You didn't wait till the end of the season. They were out the door as soon as relegation was confirmed. Leicester, on the other hand, Van Nistelrooy, probably one of the worst ever managers I've ever seen. This is the worst ever Leicester City side I've ever seen in probably in my lifetime, Martin. And Van Nistelrooy should be well and truly gone. He should be booted out the door. But in recent weeks, it's always come to the case of they might keep him for the championship.
Is it because of money? Is it because they don't want to sack him and pay him off? Is that the problem?
This is
because
it's
going to affect all the PSR next season.
We can't sack him because we can't afford to. If we sack him now, it goes into PSR this year, don't it? Because you have is it to June the 30th until the next year starts, and this is where Leicester are they're hoping. Where's Martin gone? Oh dear, So Leicester are hoping that Ruud van Nistelrooy walks. So I don't know where Leicester go from here personally. Sorry if Southampton fans are hearing me babble on here, but we're hoping the compensation situation regarding Ruud. He wants compensation. Leicester are we're hoping you walk in, mate, so it can help us with PSR. So if we sack him now, it's going to cause us more issues. But I don't know. Let's have a look. Hello, Roger. I don't trust the Southampton owners to make the right decision when it comes to recruitment of a new manager. Big up, Jack. Thank you. Joined the Eagle-Eyed Football for when you play Palace. Great football fan, Jack. Appreciate it. Let me get him back in. Martin, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
As I was saying, Leicester are hoping he walks, but Rude's like, I want compensation. This is the issue. And it's a massive sort of dialogue, Martin. You know, Rude doesn't want to walk. He's not had talks with the clubs regarding his future. So there's a lot of miscommunication at Leicester. A lot of everything's being left and piled up into one big mess, which needs clearing up now. You know, if Rude's not going to be the man next season, tell him now, get rid of him so we can bring somebody else in who can say at the end of the season, these are the players I want, these are the players I don't. This is what I want to bring in, and this is the style and everything. We've got to get it right. And Van Nistelrooy's not the man. He's not. I don't think he'd be able to do it next season in the Championship. But the club obviously think otherwise. I think we'll be fine for goalkeepers for the rest of the season, even though Mads is out. We've got a solid backup in we've got a solid backup in Stolasic. I thought you were going to touch on Danny Ward then. What do you think of Will coming in for Southampton?
Will Still. Talking about Will Still. Yeah. He was on Monday Night Football a couple of weeks ago.
He's doing all right. Lons, is it?
Yeah, he's done all right. To be fair, he's had an interview. I think that's pretty clear from what people have said. He's already had an interview at Southampton. Will he come in? I think there's a
manager to St Mary's.
Yeah, he was interested in Monday Night Football. I really enjoyed him. I thought he spoke really well. But anyone can go into a studio and speak well about tactics if you're a football person.
Steve Cooper made us look like we were playing like prime Barcelona, Martin, until you actually watched the football.
Yeah. He's been linked with Southampton.
He might want the job just to get his back on Leicester next season, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. He's been linked, but then obviously Russell Martin's been linked with Leicester.
He has.
So we could have a change of managers. We could end up with Cooper, and you could end up with Martin. What a contrast that would be!
Jesus, the old crapper is what people are calling it. You don't have to make £1 million, £100 million every season. You are down just this season as we spent.
Yeah, that's very true. It's whether you want to compete and try and get yourself back up, isn't it? It's whether you want to try and have the players to compete with the clubs that come down that have the parachute payments. That's the issue, isn't it? That's your issue.
Greetings, Tez. Would you be happy if Saudi came in for Southampton? I think he's on about Saudi owners. Obviously, you look at what Newcastle's got. What would be your initial thoughts on it, Martin? Would you take a Saudi owner? Obviously, there's been reports this week, haven't they, regarding the status of the football club. Yeah. Sport Republic apparently looking to sell the football club.
Yeah.
How much more can you tell us on that, Martin, regarding that situation? Is the truth in it, or what do you reckon?
Oh yeah, there'd be truth in it. He owns an 80% stake in the club. So Dragon Solak, I think it's 80% he owns, and the other 20% is owned by Kathleen Lieber. Her father originally owned the football club. He saved us from going out of non-existence, really. He unfortunately had a heart attack within a year of being the owner of the football club, and passed away. And we owe him a lot, Marcus Lee, because we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. His daughter obviously had control for many years. She sold out an 80% stake to Dragon Solak and Sport Republic, with Dragon Solak was putting the money in.
Yeah,
they also own two other football clubs. The Sport Republic, they have like a multi-club model. They can't run one, let alone three. But there's a lot of talk this week that he's willing to sell his 80% stake in the club. I think he paid 100 million for it. I think led to believe. There's talk of he would accept 150 million. I think everything's for sale within reason, isn't it, in life? If you get the right offer, he's obviously sounded out there. It's come via TalkSport, who talk a lot about Southampton because Jim White and Simon Jordan do that show together. Jim White's very close to Solak, so he leaks stuff quite a lot. He puts stuff in the public domain. There's no smoke without fire, Jack. There's no doubt about that. He's not come out and denied it. No one's come out and said no. And I don't think they will. I think if he gets the right offer, I think he'd probably get rid of it. I think it's probably more hassle than it's worth for him. He was a sleeping finance man. Really, he was not. He didn't really want to be involved. He wanted to obviously plough money into the company that bought the shares, and he wanted them to run it. But they've made such a mess with his money. He's had to take the chair. He's the chairman at the moment. because he obviously wants to see how his money's being spent and he wants to oversee it. And I don't expect he wants to deal with it because it's probably too much hassle. He's a billionaire, and it's probably that he's probably keep ripping up notes all the time. It's not really been the greatest investment in the world.
Talking about selling clubs, I've got one here of a statement from the Athletic yesterday. So they was on about King Power, what owned Leicester. There's been many rumours that other interested parties are willing to buy Leicester City. Parties are willing to buy Leicester, but King Power and Kuntop have not publicly demonstrated interest in selling. So they've not ever said they will sell Leicester City Football Club, but there's interest in Leicester City to buy from other companies and that. The emotional attachment at the club is strong. The statue of Kuntop's father outside the stadium on Filbert Way, a memorial garden is situated on the land behind the southeast corner of the ground where Kumbishai died. And the club's charitable foundation bears its name. So they're saying that the club's demeanour is very strong, the relationship to the club. There's been never a word of demonstrating to sell Leicester City Football Club. I know there's been quite a few fans who have said he's not his dad. He's not a football owner. He needs support. He's very much he needs football advisors around him, which is football advisors are very much should be at the football club. John Ruckin isn't a football advisor. He's made so many mistakes and so many problems. He needs to leave or move him on to something else. If Top's to keep this club going, he needs a proper football advisor for a day-to-day basis at Leicester who knows football inside out and can move the club forward properly. This is why we're stuck in the position we are, because his best mates were Ruckin, and it just feels like nobody's talking about anything, and these problems keep going on, and the managers speak about these problems, and it's the case of, we've been in this situation before, we'll get through it. And it's like, but that's just a program note, and you know what I mean? There's a difference, aren't they, Martin, between saying something and actually going out and doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I think owners can say all the right things sometimes, can't they? Say the right things, but it's delivering it, isn't it? That's the big thing.
Martin, I'm gonna let's talk about Danny Rohl. I mean, today from the Yorkshire Post, they're saying that he's very much interested in succeeding Ruud van Nistelrooy, reportedly. Danny Rohl has been one on the lips regarding Southampton Football Club in interest in him. What do you reckon, Martin? I mean, what do you reckon it should be at the weekend? The battle for the signing of Danny Rohl as manager at the weekend, something to play for, or what's your thoughts on Danny Rohl?
I like him. I think he's done a good job. He's the fans' favourite down here. There isn't any question about that. That's who they all want. When I go around and do fan cams before games at the weekend, and I talk about decision making and who they like to see as manager. Yeah. And the majority of them come out with his name. He's the name on everyone's lips, to be quite honest. Yeah. Look, he's got a long way to go. He's got a lot to do. He's done a season and a half, hasn't he, with Wednesday? Worked wonders really with what he had available to him in terms of money. I think he was probably disappointed in January. He wanted back in a bit to really kick him on, because he felt he probably could get him in the playoffs, which is quite incredible, really. I think he'd be well sought after, not just in England. I think he'd be sought after across Europe as well. He's got a connection with us already, though it was different owners under Ralph Hasenhüttl, who was the assistant manager. So he knows the football club, knows the area. I think it's a perfect fit for us, really. I think if it's my choice for manager at the moment, I would have liked to see Mourinho, but I think that won't happen because he's going to sign a new contract at Strasbourg. But yeah, I'll be very, very keen to see him come in. So I think he'd be brilliant. But I think the club's fighting for him, mate. And it's who can give him the best business plan, who's got the best backing to get back to the Premier League, because he want to go manage in the Premier League and he want to get a team promoted. So whoever's going to offer him if he's going to choose between Saints and Leicester, who's got the best presentation, who's got the best business plan, that's what it will come down to, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Leicester's plan to stay in a plan. This is the problem, Martin. You know what I mean? There's no plan at Leicester at all. We say what these managers want to hear to bring them to the football club, and there's no action afterwards. We promise them all these things, and then we'll get to these sort of windows now and say, yeah, but we can't do what we've told you. So it's like you're lying through your teeth, and this is the club we are. It's like Ruud van Nistelrooy, January come, and he said he was going to be backed with funds and that. And we turned around and said to him, we can't do it. And it's like, what can you do? Can you sort of go for a whip round and make sure we can actually sign someone, or how do we go and do it? Because this is a problem in communication again. You brought these managers here and you promised them things, so go out and do what you promised. Don't lie to them. No manager will want to come. They're going to think, yeah, I'm not going to Leicester. Look what the
chances,
yeah, it is. But I think it's always that type of case. I mean, Danny Rohl is a fantastic coach. He is in the Championship. He's very much. Sheffield Wednesday looked buried, didn't they, in that December of that Championship season when Leicester and Southampton were in it, and he came in and, like you say, resurrected them. Let's be honest, he worked on a shoestring budget. He worked with Chanziri, and he got them to where they are, and I think he's done what he can for the football club. I mean, players have not been paid again, and then it's sort of like, I don't want to stay here if things like that are happening. You kind of see the light, don't you? And then it's one of them where
there's no doubt that he's going to leave. He will not be their manager next season. Whatever happens, he's going to leave, isn't he? He won't be there.
It'd be one I'd be interested in personally, but then I like Sean Dyche. I like a bit of a ruthless character, like a Nigel Pearson, someone who's going to go to that training ground and sort the mess out that needs to be sorted out with this team. Just someone who takes no nonsense, anything like that, who demands respect from the off. And this is something we're going to have to do. Dave calls it the El Crapico, Martin. I mean, if you had to sum up this game, what would you sum it up as?
Yeah, it's going to be El Crapico. There's no doubt about that. We have got pride on the line because we're trying to get to Derby's points low tally, aren't we? We're trying to find another point when we've matched it a couple of weeks ago up at. We're better on the road actually. I spoke about it. But it was up at West Ham. We are better. There's no doubt. When was the last time we scored at home? Is it some ridiculous statistic?
Well, we've smashed a top flight record in English top flight for 9 defeats in a row at home without scoring. So you come into a side who can't score at all. So
well, you'll score against us the weekend, guarantee. We'll give you a helping hand there.
It'd be pandemonium in like winning the Premier League again if we ended up doing that. We had 2 managers since they last scored. So you've had Russell Martin and Ivan Juric. You've had 2 managers sacked before last time Leicester City scored, Martin. So let that one sink in for you.
It's pretty mad, isn't it? What a mad statistic, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous.
What's your thoughts on Vardy? Obviously, he's announced he's leaving Leicester at the end of the season. He don't want to go to the Championship.
Yeah.
What's been your thoughts on Jamie Vardy, Martin?
Very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. He feels he's still got a role to play at Premier League level. He's confident, isn't he? He feels he's got enough. You've seen him play this year. Do you think he's still got enough in him to play in the Premier League? Personally, from what you've seen?
I think if he had a better team around him, I think he'd have scored more goals. But because he's been very much defensive and that, and not attacking enough and not having the ball enough to his feet. And if we actually got the ball into the box and actually gave him the ball rather than go backwards with it, when we do look like attacking when he wants the ball, I think he'd score more. There is still a hunger there from him. I love him to bits, but it was always going to come to an end one day. He's been here 13 incredible years, Jamie Vardy. Been a great servant to his football club. He's one of the Premier League's greatest ever strikers. He still holds that record of 11 consecutive Premier League games in scoring, and he loves the club.
Yeah, he's a top guy.
It's a shame to leave.
Yeah, Leicester fans must be gutted because he's been there for such a long period of time, and he's made such an impact in the Premier League, isn't he? It'd be interesting wherever he goes now. You think he'd finish his career? Would it be a newly promoted side that would take him? Probably, you think, wouldn't you? You think it'd be
one of the Celtic maybe could be looking in with Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, it'd be a really good squad player for wherever he goes. But he still looks fit, and that's one thing about him. He's a guy that's always looked after himself, isn't he? He's fit as a fiddle, isn't he? So you think wherever he goes, he can offer something to somebody. I think for you guys, if you kept him in the Championship, he would have been an absolute dream because he scored goals at that level, wouldn't he? That's the big thing about it. But yeah, it's going to be a huge miss, a huge miss.
The defeat record is it in all time or the Premier League product. I think it's the top flight record. That's what it is. The top flight record. On my window, Leicester will lose 3-2. He reckons Leicester will lose 3-2. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you beat us, to be honest. I mean, everyone's been beating us left, right, and centre this season, and yeah, I'm fucking sick of it. Martin, let's chat about the game. Leicester versus Southampton. Chat to me about it, Martin. I mean, what do you reckon? I mean, it's more like a pre-season game, isn't it, Martin, this one?
Yeah.
I think you'll go into this one with against Leicester.
Well, I know how we'll go into it. We're like very defensive. So the guy that's took over at the moment, Simon Rusk, he was the under-18 coach, under-21s. He did a little stint when Martin went before the mighty Ivan Juric come in. Disastrous move that was, by the way, but that's another story. But Simon Rusk has come in. He likes to get us organised, defensively pull people together. Look, from what I've seen so far, it's been much of the same, really. Still playing 5 at the back. Pointless, really, when you're relegated. I don't see the point of it. What's the point in playing 5 at the back? But he will do. He'll play 5 at the back. Jan Bednar could be centre back. There's been a lot of talk around him today. He's got a £6 million release clause. He will definitely leave this summer. There's no doubt about that. He will go now. There is he'll be playing his last few games for Saints. So we're set up with the 5 at the back. Downs has come back into midfield. He plays alongside Ogachukwu. Very defensively minded mindset, this guy. We won't have enough in the final third to score goals. That's the problem. We don't. You have Silamana, who's got loads of pace. You saw him in the Championship. He played against you down at St Mary's when you beat us heavily last year. Loads of pace, goes past people. He's got no end products. Cameron Arch has got no confidence, can't score goals. Ross Stewart possibly start up front again for Saints. He's yet to score a Saints goal. Had a good opportunity the weekend and fell over and tried to get a penalty instead of getting a shot off.
I wish Leicester more often.
So we did actually have the one good effort at the weekend, but we don't create enough. We can't get up the field quick enough. It'd be much of the same, really. There's a young lad, I can't pronounce his name, that's done very, very well in the under-18s. I'll be looking at him. He scored like a ridiculous amount of goals in recent weeks. I'll be looking at someone to bring through from the academy and give him a chance. Just give some younger players a chance now and go for it. But he won't because he's trying to play it safe and doesn't want to see us get hammered. But we're not going to get hammered. You just got to have a go, haven't you? Why not let the shackles off and go play forward at the back and give yourself another player in midfielder up front and go for it? That's what I'd do if I was the manager. But it will be defensively minded from us. It could be an absolute snore fest if we're not careful.
The only thing I worry about is Southampton can score goals and Leicester can't.
We're not very good at scoring goals, let's be honest.
No, but you say that, but you're scoring goals. You're doing more than we're doing this season. You're putting the ball in the opponent's net. We're not. This is the problem, and we've got a squad who just can't do it. I mean, it's been a massive issue. I think this is one where Ruud van Nistelrooy again will say, yeah, we've got to play with pride. I'm just like, mate, you've been doing that. But you've been saying that every press conference. Like, I'm not being funny. This team ain't bothered. They know they're off in the summer, whoever it is, fast. Wilfred Ndidi's got a release clause of about £9 million. So if Southampton want to go and tap up Ndidi, by the way, I'm not sending him on to you. It's not a promotion. It's £9 million if you want to buy him, of course. But there's a lot of players that a lot of youngsters will come through in this game, like Jake Evans, Michael Golding, who else? Jeremy Monger, Aluko. I think it's time to give the youngsters a chance, because they'll be with us next season. I think these are the games where you just got to build a bit of momentum of going into the Championship. This one could be a snooze fest. It could be a boring 0-0 for God's sake, because you want two of the worst sides in the league going at it. So what do you really expect?
You'll be guaranteed it'll be the last one on Match of the Day. That's a
it will.
No one's interested in it, are they? There's no one that'd be interested in the game. It's disaster for the Premier League, isn't it? You've got no relegation scrap. It's not going to go to the final day. Sky going to be scratching around trying to find something for TV, aren't they? Let's be honest, because the title's done, the relegation is done. There's a few European places up for grabs, but really and truly, it's not good for the league. It's going to whimper away. It's probably won't be one of the worst Premier League seasons, if you're honest, in a very long time. Let's be honest about it, because it's been nothing short of not very good, is it? It's been uncompetitive. Liverpool haven't really had anyone at a proper pop at them, really. You look at the gap. It's huge, and you look at the gap between us and Wolves and West Ham. West Ham, they're the closest now, aren't they? Yeah. And it's not been competitive.
Ben Nelson has made the Championship Team of the Month. I mean, Team of the Month, Team of the Season. But that shows how good he is. Let me share my screen, Martin. We're going to go through some stats together. I like a good stat. Just he's in the right.
Yeah, me too. I want
a bit
statistics.
Of stats, but it never in the case this season. So, following their 3-2 win at St Mary's in the reverse fixture, Leicester are looking to complete the Premier League double over Southampton for the first time since 1999-2000. So it'll be the first time we've ever done it for a while. Southampton have lost their last 3 league games against Leicester. They've never lost 4 in a row against the Foxes before. Leicester have lost their last 9 Premier League home games, Martin, by an aggregate score of 22-0.
Oh, wow. Wow.
The only team in England league history, top 4 leagues to fail to score in 10 consecutive home games are Wolves between 1984 and 1985, December to April. So if Leicester lose against Southampton, then it'd be 10 consecutive games. Southampton's 80 goals conceded this season is their most in a single campaign since 1971-72. Also 80 whilst theirs last shipped more in 1967-68, 83 goals. So if you concede 4, Martin, it'd be the worst ever since 1967-68.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, isn't it? How humiliating. I see these statistics and it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing and horrible.
Defeat for Southampton will confirm them finishing bottom of the Premier League this season. It would be the 3rd time they've finished last. Also to 04-05, 22-23. The joint most any side in the competition is Sunderland, which is 3 times. Leicester have had fewer shots, 299 fewer shots on target to 98, and a lower XG tally of 29.2 than any other side in Premier League this season. Southampton have faced more shots, 605, more shots on target, 234, and have a higher XG against tally of 78.8 than any other side in the Premier League. Southampton have dropped more points from winning positions than any other club in the Premier League this season, 28. If they lead but fail to win this match, it will be the first time they've lost 30 plus points from ahead in a single campaign.
Jeez. Great stats, by the way.
The last two, Martin. Leicester have conceded 49 goals in 21 Premier League games under Ruud van Nistelrooy. If they concede in this match, it will be the joint second fastest the team has conceded 50 goals under a specific manager in competition, level with George Burley at Ipswich. They haven't won any of their 4 games under him, Ruud van Nistelrooy, so far this season. Drawing 2, losing 2. Southampton are currently averaging more points per game under Simon Russ this season than they did under both Russell Martin and Ivan Juric, 0.29.
Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. I just think everyone's taking their foot off the gas. Though. Even you watched Fulham last weekend, foot was off the gas a bit. You watch West Ham, they're not going down. They're all on the beach, a lot of these sides now. Do you not feel that when you watch these games? Yeah, they're, even some of the players now, they've checked out, haven't they? They know they're going to be getting moves. They know they're going to be somewhere else next season. They all check out, don't they? It's just, I guess it's natural, but the fans are the ones left with it. They relegate you, be woeful all season, pick up 50, 60 grand a week, and they get another club. And it's you and me that are travelling up and down the country to Stoke on a Tuesday night. That's just
well, it ain't going to be Plymouth away next season, so that's not
No,
going to be
I'm gutted about that. I'm gutted about. I really like Plymouth. I've got to say, out of all the clubs, I've got a massive soft spot for Plymouth. I wanted to go down there. Really like them as a club, mate. I think they're top draw.
I liked it last season until we lost, which is every fan's thing. But yeah, this is a game where Leicester have got injuries. Obviously, Mads Hermansson's going to miss the rest of the season. He's had surgery today. He'll be out for a bit.
Saw that, yeah.
Bobby D. Cordova-Reid's out for the rest of the season. Ricardo's out for the next few weeks with injury. I think that's the end of his season, to be honest. It's just a shame that he was the best probably Premier League fullback in 2019, and great fullback in his time, but injuries have hindered him. Buonotte's got concussion, so he won't be featuring. Mavididi and Fatawu still out, so they'll miss the rest of the season as well. A lot of youngsters are going to be playing Saturday against Saints, but yeah, it's if Jamie Vardy can get these next 2 goals now in his next 4 matches, which is going to be interesting for him. Obviously, he's only
He'd be delighted that Saints are coming along the weekend. I think he's got quite a good record against us, if I'm right in saying.
Yeah.
Jamie Vardy. I'm pretty sure he's got a really good record against us. Guaranteeing that against us. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Last 5 Premier League head-to-head at the KP, Martin. You lot have won 2. We've won 2. I mean, that shows a lot how... Do you know what, yeah? It's very much reverse for Leicester and Southampton. We go and beat you at your place quite comfortably, and then you come down here and you beat us. It's weird. And then both stadiums look the same anyway. Southampton and Leicester Stadium are just the same. One's red and one's blue.
Yeah, yours is just a blue version of ours, really. Yeah, it is. They're identical.
You'll be in our corner at the weekend, and we've been in your corner this season. So
I'll tell you what, they moved the away fans at St Mary's, obviously at the start of the season, but I've sat down that end of the away fans for the majority of it. The amount of late goals I've seen down there is unbelievable. Unbelievable. No matter where you put away fans, they make noise, don't they? But yeah, it's not really not been great for us, that's for sure.
Last time round, Martin, in the Premier League, the KP, 2-1 Southampton, if you remember it quite well. Leicester lad Che Adams scored twice for Southampton to get all 3 points. Not the greatest afternoons for Leicester, obviously. Quite crap defensive display that cost us the game.
You were poor that day. I remember it well. But Adams come off the bench, didn't he? Che Adams come off the bench to score those goals. He's actually been linked, I see today, with Birmingham City next season, his hometown club, and they're looking to bring him back to England. I tell you what, that would be an absolutely great bit of business if they pulled that off, by the way. I think he'd be a really good signing for anybody. We've missed him, Jack, this season. Big time.
Obviously, last time we faced at the KP was a 5-0 thrashing for you lot.
Oh, yeah.
How do you sort of see this one going?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a smashing by any stretch of the imagination. A very different Saints side this time to the one that you saw at the start of the season. There won't be any tippy-tap out from the back. There won't be any possession-based football. That's for sure. Hopefully the players will work for each other, dig in deep, because that's what you want to see, Jack, isn't it? I think as a fan, you want to see the players digging in and giving 110%. That's all any fan wants. But I think listen to your injuries and what you've told me. I feel a bit more confident now after hearing the situation that you have there. I fancy us to win it actually now. I fancy us to win it. It's my last away game.
We've got Uncle Ayu on the left, mate. I don't think it offers much pace, but Jordan Ayew's not a starter. He's a 75-minute player. It proved it at St Mary's this season when he scored the winner. He's very much a player that comes off the bench and does the business. But he's not a starter. I mean, we're just going to have to reshuffle the pack quite well. I mean, Wout Fast is trying to push for a move from Leicester. I'd get rid of him personally. I want him in a Leicester shirt again, in my opinion, this season. I just won't play him at all now. I'd go with players that actually want to be here next season.
What about big Yannick Vestergaard? What's happened to Yannick?
Well, he's fell out with the manager again, and is it something to do with, well, he obviously brought his dog to the Leicester training ground, which he probably thought it was pets at home. He'd probably got the wrong size.
He took his dog to training?
He took his dog to training, and he actually
taking the piss, isn't he? What's he taking the dog to training for?
Well, this is it, and I asked myself that more, and then something.
I hope he took a poo bag with him.
Well, I think we've seen a lot of that this season. But no, he's not fancied by Rude. There's been a lot of conversations between them two, and Brendan never fancied him, and then Steve Cooper never fancied him. Obviously, Thingy did. It was Enzo in the Championship. He's not a Premier League player. He's not.
No.
But yeah, there's been a lot to do with. Is it players living far away, Martin? Rude's trying to bring them in to stay at least one day a week at the training ground, and they're not wanting to do it.
What's the point in that anyway? What's the point in that?
I think it's before a game.
Oh, before a game. Before a game. He doesn't want them travelling on a day. Fair enough.
Yeah.
They're paid enough money to stay overnight on a night before a game. Yeah, there shouldn't be a major issue, should it?
It's high scoring if we score one at the moment. Well, it is. I mean, I don't see us scoring 5 past Southampton again. Let's be fair.
Definitely not.
Let's get on to teams. I mean, I'll let you go first with yours. I'll let myself think about mine of who I actually want to play and who I don't. But yeah, what do you reckon, mine, Southampton? How do you think you'll line up?
Yeah, I think we'll end up pretty much. I'm getting a lineup from last weekend on my screen from Flash Score, but I think we'll probably be unchanged, to be honest. Paul Nuachu's fit. Simon Rusk had a press conference today. He's got a clean bill of health, he said. So everybody's fit and available. Adam Lallana's was obviously gone from the playing side to the coaching side. It's whether he's going to put on a shirt one more time this season. I think that remains to be seen. I think he will do, actually. But the starting 11 will be as follows, and I don't think there'll be any changes to it. I think it'll be Ramsdale, Harwood, Bellis, Benarek, Stevens. Manning will play at left back. I would think he's kind of nailed down that spot with left wing back. Kyle Walker-Peters will play right wing back. Downs and Ugachuk with central midfield. Mateus Fernandez in midfield. Well, they're played behind Stewart. Fernandez and Silamana either side. And then Ross Stewart will play up front on his own, I would think. Whether Tyler Dibling comes back in for Silamana, that might be the only change. He's not started the last 3 or 4, Dibling. He's out of favour with the previous manager and this manager. A lot of fans are disappointed with some of his performances. I think it's a confidence issue. I think he needs games. I'd throw him in now and play him between now and the end of the season. Give him a bit of game time. They want to sell him and get some money for him. So maybe it's time to give him a run in the side. I don't think Inuachu will start. I know someone mentioned him in the comments. He's been out injured, struggled with his ankle. I think they give Ross Stewart the minutes, knowing that he'll be with us next season, and they'll try and get him fit. But it's an opportunity to run him fit now between now and pre-season.
Yeah, I think that's what you got to do now, and give the players a chance to actually win the next season and plan. Stolasic will start in goal for Leicester. I don't want it to be Danny Ward, for God's sake.
No, I hope it is Danny Ward. I hope it is. But I'll be delighted if I turn up to the KP and I see Danny Ward in goal.
Yeah, delighted for you, but not for us. Ricky P's injured, so he'll go with James Justin. I think he'll go with Caleb Okoli and Connor Cody, with Luke Thomas at left back. I think the midfield two are going to stick the same with Samora and Ndidi. Bilal El Khanous will start as a centre attacking midfield role. D. Cordova-Reid's injured, Mavadidi's injured, so we've not got much to offer on the wings. So I think he's going to be very much of... I'd rather see Jeremy Monger and Casey McAteer, but I think he'll go with McAteer and Jordan Ayew. And then he'll go Vardy up front, because we've not got much to offer. If you look at our bench, it's just Oliver Skip and I think that's even it, really, to even look at. Obviously, we've got Jake Evans, but I don't think he'll start Jake Evans, which is always going to be interesting regarding Fatahu's injured, isn't it? Yeah, he is. Fatahu's injured for the rest of the season. He'll start pre-season very soon. He has been getting fit and that for that, so... Yeah, it'd be good for him to get him back in. Missed him, I think. He tore Southampton apart when we went to St Mary's this season when he come off the bench. So, yeah, love him to bits. Fatahu, I think he'll be with us next season quite confidently, I think. So, score prediction, Martin. Is this one going to be a ball fest at the El Crapico? What is it going to be a 0-0?
No, I don't reckon it'd be 0-0. I don't reckon it'd be 0-0. I think Saints will win it, actually.
Really?
Not many times I've said this season. I just think with your injury concerns and the players you have missing, I think it's a massive opportunity for us to go put 3 points on the board. But Saints fans tuning in, watching, please, let's not go calling for Simon Russ to become the manager if we do win this. He's not the answer, even if he does win this game. But for me, I think we'll win it. I think Ross Stewart will get his first Southampton goal. I fancy Tyler Dibbling to go and get a goal as well, because I think he's due one. I'm going to go 3-1 Saints. I think Vardy scores and Saints win 3-1.
Martin's gifted 5 Football Martin memberships for anyone who wants to be a part of the Football Martin team.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah.
Go and click on them.
I do some exclusive content for my members, so like every week I put player ratings videos and bit of exclusive fan cam and stuff like that. Unseen footage, things like that. It's quite cool. It's only I usually charge $1.99 for it, but I've gifted a few today.
Fantastic.
Because of that, I've had some amazing support recently.
It's always good to give back. Which is good, and I'm very much the same. I love the support. I'll give back, and I don't expect anything in return. It is what it is. Think you need to beat Derby's record.
Yes, we do. We do, my friend.
Tell you what, I think this game will end up 1-1. I think we'll finally score at home, and Southampton will beat Derby's record. That's how I think it's going to go. I mean, we can't score for toffee, but
I'll probably take that right now, to be honest.
maybe we actually do finally score, and I think Jeremy Mongo will score. What do you reckon? I mean, maybe Jamie Vardy, who knows? But it's going to be interesting. I mean, knowing us, we'd probably think we're going to lose because we lose every week. Southampton are nothing special when Leicester, if you go ahead against us, we lose every week. So that'd be the chant around the stadium, Martin. If you do go ahead against us, you're nothing special. We lose every week. Yeah. Watch Aaron Ramsdale score on that note. Yeah, probably will. It's a 2-2 draw, late Leicester equaliser. Well, if we can score, fantastic. It'd be like winning the bloody Premier League all over again. But if we lose, this season's just gets on to worse and worse. I think I've been depressed this season very much. I've tried slightly being positive, but I can't. You've got to speak from the heart and how things are going at the football club. Got to be honest, like yourself, Martin. We've seen Southampton this season. I've seen the reactions, and then you've got to say how it is. It's no good beating around the bush.
Yeah. We've got a great goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. As someone mentioned him a minute ago, I think Aaron Ramsdale was absolutely tremendous. I think we've been lucky to have him, but if it hadn't been for him, I think we would have probably conceded a lot more goals. He's saved us from a couple of humiliating. We've had humiliating defeats, but they could have been even worse. Be interesting to see where Rambo goes actually, and he will go anywhere. And for any Saints fan that thinks he's going to be with us next season,
what about Bournemouth?
Bournemouth. He absolutely won't be with us. There's a World Cup next summer, so he'll be looking to put himself in the window for that squad. He want to be a part of it, and I think when he's playing week in, week out, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the division. I honestly, I can't believe he chose to come to us. I can't believe he did it. He must be regretting it. I just think the amount of goals I've conceded this season, it's probably damaged him a little bit, to be fair, his reputation a little bit. But he's a top goalkeeper. He's earned a lot of money in the process, so it's not all bad.
Both teams are so bad it should be -1. Do you know what? Knowing Southampton, they'll beat us 1-0. And that's maybe how I'm not giving you the script because I know how Leicester are, but maybe we bloody do. How many goals will Forest put past us? I mean, Forest are on form this season, aren't they? And that's for a chat for another show. But no, thank you, Martin.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's been good, hasn't it?
I've enjoyed
really
it.
Good. Yeah, plenty watching on mine, loads watching on yours as well. So I think all in all, thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to Jack if you're watching on mine, and
go and check out Martin and subscribe to him that way, not that way.
Yeah, we will meet up at the weekend. I'm going to do a feature with Jack. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to do a feature with him at the weekend. We're going to talk about some of the players that have shone in amongst a terrible season. We'll talk about expectations for next season and where Leicester go next, and we'll bring you all that in the match day show on the weekend. So looking forward to
appreciate it. Take care, Martin, and
thank you.
I'll catch you at the weekend.
See you soon, my friend. Thank you, mate.
Bye bye. That's Football Martin. Great friend of mine, Martin, who I'll be meeting up at the weekend and doing some content with. We'll probably put a combined 11 of the worst 11 players this season. Maybe that's a thing which might come on the show. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this stream. Subscribe to the channel if you know and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and do so. Thank you to Martin's viewers for coming on, watching the show. It's going to be absolutely thrilling in the Championship. Can't wait. Wrexham away. Let's have it. But no. Thank you to my viewers as well. Appreciate it as always. Thank you to all the comments, getting involved, showing all the love. So go and subscribe. Hit the like button on Martin's video and mine as well. And there'll be a match day vlog out at the weekend. It's Leicester take on Southampton, and some would call it the El Crapico. This one could be a ball fest, let's be honest. But yeah, more like a pre-season friendly. And let's see what happens, shall we? So I'll see you then. Have a great rest of the evening, wherever you're up to. Keep it at the final whistle. And see you later. Hi all. Thank you for watching the final whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share, and subscribe to the channel.